the A&R Vent Podcast. All right, we are back, the A&R Vent Podcast. I got my brother Rondell in the building. What's going on?
Yes, sir. I'm good, man. How you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good. And we have 99 neighbors on the line. What's up, fellas?
Yo, what's good?
We got a production duo right here. I'm Samba. What's up, y'all? I'm Juju.
What's up? What's up? So, how long have you guys been together, and like, how did you guys formulate?
I mean, like, as for just like the group itself, it was a really long and slow process of just like adding members, tracking members until we had the team that really felt right. And meanwhile, we found out why we were doing it just as slow. But as for like me and Juju, we go way back. Our parents were friends. There's pictures of us together as babies.
So you guys have a unique sound because y'all blend different types of stuff together. So how would you describe your musical sound to like your new fans?
I think it's kind of just like a melting pot. Like it's sort of like an amalgam of all our different influences, and that's one thing that like the group dynamic brings. That's pretty interesting. That keeps you on your toes. Is that everybody has a different musical background. Like for instance, some of us grew up like I grew up playing guitar, just gigging in bands around town, and like, you know, like being a band leader, doing arrangements and stuff. And then other people were doing hip hop ciphers around town and stuff like that. And so we all just like listened to different shit growing up, from Motown to rock and stuff like that. So you get all those in there as well. And, I guess I would describe it as kind of a mix of all our different influences. It's kind of hard to like pinpoint one down.
I think like one thing I could say is that usually what I hear, like translated through our music, back to myself, like almost even just for notes personally, is like I hear things that challenge us translated through things that we're comfortable with. Mm-hmm. So this is just off the top of my head. I don't even know if we've ever done this, but take a classical composition, throw it over trap drums, and try to like do something special with it. You know, challenge ourselves, but still be comfortable and have fun. You know, like that's really the balance that we go for.
Okay, all right. So how many members are there? 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys are from Vermont?
Yeah, we're from Burlington, Vermont originally, with the exception of Jared, who's actually from Newton, Massachusetts.
Okay. What is the hip hop scene out there like? Is there like a lot of opportunity for artists to like do stuff out there?
It makes sense for like the internet era, like now, because like I think we're a good example of kids connecting in ways that you wouldn't necessarily see before. But for that, like actually for live shows and like there's a couple studios, but generally the whole setup in Burlington is a bit of an older music culture. Thrives off of folk music and maybe some 90s boom bap and a lot of crossover jam bands, like Fish to like Weezer to like, it's just Pearl Jam shit and stuff, which is cool. But like there's a lot of, but the thing is, it's like we can't complain though because we came out of it.
Yeah.
Because like that shit added up to something that we could make into something special. Like the reason I'm named Samba is because I grew up going to watch my white ass parents play Latin percussion like twice a week. Why it existed up there, I have no idea. But that rhythm is like all I know now. So it's fire. I fuck with it, you know?
Yeah.
One thing that you get out of that too is that now that we're like in a space kind of even as a nation where we're like kind of like reconciling people's different like avenues where they take advantage of other cultures and shit. When you come from like a place that's super diverse musically, like you can like kind of try and tap into those things while paying homage to them and being respectful of the space you're in and all that shit too. So like, it's a cool space, man. Like it's not ideal. It's not like your traditional place, not Atlanta where you see hip hop groups come out of, but like we were lucky enough to come out of there with like a mix of different like styles and shit too. So we're thankful for Burlington.
Yeah, it's really important to be able to appreciate all of your influences
Yeah.
for what they.
Okay. Oh, that's what's up, man. You know, I wouldn't think that there would be a lot of opportunity out there in Vermont, but then when you mix it with the internet, that's what's dope about it is that now you can kind of blend everybody can come together. It doesn't matter where you are.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Sam and Samba originally met over SoundCloud.
Yeah,
so
basically.
there's opportunities that come up that we didn't have before.
And that's the thing. It was so close. Like, we had mutual friends and everything. Like, it was right in front of our faces. But we just started DMing on SoundCloud, and that's how it was a wrap.
Yeah, and definitely there's a certain amount of, like, all of us had to do a little bit of the bootstraps thing. Like, you do have to work for your opportunities and such, like, in that kind of musical environment. Like, you got to go out of your way a little bit and, like, put the effort forward. But I think, that even helped us just refine who we're working with, and you could see who was willing to, like, get out of Burlington with that.
Yeah.
Those fewer opportunities.
Off the strength.
Off the strength. Yeah.
Yeah. So, at what point did you guys realize, like this is gonna be something, like this we can actually do something with this?
For me, like, that type of realization is, like, it happens on different levels all the fucking time. I think the first time was dead at day one. Like, the first time I was in the studio with Sam, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. I can, like, actually make a song with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then, real quick, and then it happened tenfold. Absolutely, like, the fact, it's not like, oh, and now here comes Hank. It was like, oh my God, there's this entire other world, and we can combine them.
Yeah.
And then I spent like a year trying to get them to like be a duo.
Yeah, but it was good. That's
and then Swank. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like and then Aiden's coming in, and then we got Jerry coming in. And all
It's
this shit.
crazy.
And, like it's really fun, and like I think like. Yeah, I would agree with Samba. Like, that stuff happens on small scales all the time. And I think my first one would be, like, low-key, same answer. First time I got in the studio with, like, Sam, Samba, and Hank, I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. I've never been in such a dynamic music, like, relationship, especially being someone that like, played mostly, like, live shows in a band and shit like that.
Uh-huh.
Like, being in the studio with people recording, hearing it back, like, it was just hella fun. That shit's awesome.
Okay. All right, so what are you guys in Vermont right now, or are you guys in LA? I don't know. It feels like everybody I talk to is in LA.
Chicago.
Oh, you guys, both of you are in Chicago?
Yeah, we moved to Chicago as a group. So the whole, all 9 of us, and my sister, so 10 of us, live in a house. She's it's a family. My sister is married to our manager.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, it's all tight.
They've been together since high school. Like,
way
high
back.
school. Like, it's crazy, bro. Like, that's the other thing is that like we all did cross paths in Burlington. Like, even though there's a range of age in our group too, like it's 19 to 24. Like, some people weren't in the same grades, in the same schools, even at the same time. Like, we all crossed paths at one point or another, and it's really funny to go back and pick up. Like, I used to see Swank at BSS basketball games and shit, like chilling with the Rice kids, like on the other side, like on the other team and shit. So,
Yeah, everybody has their story about like when they first met each other.
yeah.
It's
Shane
like
I worked at a Chipotle and like probably served these dudes and shit like that.
shit's like Pulp Fiction.
So what's going on out there? Is are you in the second phase, or like what have you guys been doing during quarantine?
Man, just crafting. On what level of like what we're doing with it, that's just up in the air. Right now, we're just focusing on making music and getting better. And like, and just we gotta have fun every day. Like, everything got put in perspective because like suddenly out of nowhere, everybody in the world starts focusing on these bigger issues.
Yeah.
And like, who the fuck wants to talk about themselves? Excuse me if I can swear. Who
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
to
yeah.
talk about themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I didn't check on the.
I didn't check.
But you good.
But think about it though, like there's no love song that like regardless of like sales, there's nothing that like should come out. Like and like maybe shit's easing up now, but I don't even want to say that yet. Like we're focusing on making the right thing right now,
Yeah, I think when quarantine first started, we were like Jared had this incredible like tech setup going where we could do these live streams through like OBS, and like we were doing live concerts and stuff. And then like quarantine like continued to develop. People got back outside, so that was an interesting period. And now we're entering this other stage where like there's all these bigger picture like political things going on too that we're like being conscious of. And like that's kind of like where as artists like a lot of people's minds are on that stuff right now, and it can be difficult to create. So we're just like in this space where we feel lucky because everybody's learning about how to.
Also, just as Americans too, like we're living in the biggest city any of us have lived in. If I'm like straight about that, and you know, we were at the protests pretty much day one, and I don't know, it's crazy. It shifts your perspective, man.
Yeah, like when you see all those people that so strongly care about one thing that they're just are willing to die for now. And like, it gets it get intense, but like, you know what I mean? It's like you start to think like going through your day-to-day life, like how much is this shit that I'm like moaning about or that I'm like bitching about or whatever it is, like how much does it really matter? And, like, it's just a really healthy step back. So like we've been going through that as a group, and it's really been like eye-opening for all of us, for sure.
Yeah. So going into that, you know, you brought up the what's going on politically right now, right? So like, have you had any friends or anyone? Have you guys experienced any police brutality?
I think that like growing up in Burlington, there's only 3 black people in our group. It's myself, Sam, and Hank. And I think, you know, like our complexions even vary. So our experiences would vary, you know, even just within the 3 of us. And that's the whole thing, is that there's a whole range of dynamics that like basically, you know, my feeling is that like as black people, we're pretty much demanding that white people, you know, reconcile with that, and they understand that they've been like perpetuating all these systems of oppression for so long without even knowing it. And like it's time to look at yourself in the mirror and like check on all those things. And so like, you know, like we all have stories. Like I have stories of my encounters with Burlington Police Department and with other police departments, and they're not the same as all our white friends growing up. You know, like Vermont's a pretty white place. Upward.
Yeah.
My bad. Could you guys Could you hear me there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think my phone was on Bluetooth. My bad. But yeah, no. So like, all of us have experience with police, and like we've all experienced it in different ways. The white people in the group have experienced it a different way than the 3 of us have, and then the 3 of us have all experienced it differently. And like, you know, like I know people who've lost friends at the hands of police. You know, like I've seen this shit happen. I've seen how my black friends were treated growing up by the BPD and like all that stuff. So yeah, man, like it's real shit, and like I'm really glad that finally as a country people are like, you know, for the most part willing to step up and do their part to like break that shit down, because like it really is like low key, like it's bigger than music, it's bigger than all of us, it's bigger than whatever project we're working on right now, it's bigger than how your mix sounds, all that shit, man. Like it's real shit.
And being the white guy in the room, I'm just gonna tell you the facts. No, and that's the craziest part. Is like I got fucking caught smoking weed and got a warning, and then went to school. And I mean, I've seen it, but like we've all seen it. Like how good is, you know, yeah, it's crazy. It's pretty obvious in Burlington.
Yeah, and it's pretty fucking obvious. It's very obvious in Burlington because you see it in the school board, you see it in, you know, like fucking like even something like I played sports growing up, bro. There's teams that you can't afford, and those are the better teams. Travel teams,
housing funding. Burlington and development.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. You see neighborhoods switch on a dime. You see gentrification just eating up these places where these people live. They're being forced out, and like all this shit is evil, and it's all like changeable, and it's just, you know, like time to come to terms with all that stuff that we need to work on as collectively as like Americans and shit like that. So yeah, it's been, yeah, to answer your question, very long winded. Yeah. People in this country have experienced police brutality for sure, but it goes deeper than that for real. The police are just the clearest epitome of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's what's up, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate, you know, giving your opinion and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. There's no more time to stray away from these things, bro.
There's no way that it would be a disservice to keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys weren't rapping, what would there be anything else you were doing?
Oh man, I guess like just like keep your eyes open. We're gonna be hopefully doing a lot of cool stuff this year.
Did you say what would we be doing?
Yeah, what would you be doing if you weren't rapping?
Oh, my bad. I totally misunderstood the conversation. So if I wasn't doing music, what would I be doing?
Yeah.
Damn, that's a good question. I would probably be very upset, not knowing what to do with my life. In a college somewhere probably on a soccer team with a bunch of people I didn't like as much as I love my friends now.
I would probably still be a dropout,
Mm.
and I would probably still have a contract where I owe people money at this age. And I would probably still have some sort of startup, but I have no idea what it would be. It would be like fashion or a video game or like production company or some shit like that.
Oh, okay. So you would still be like an entrepreneur.
I would still be a dropout artist, that's for sure.
If I wasn't in 99, I would still be doing music because I went to music school for a year. But if I wasn't doing music, I don't know what the fuck I would be doing.
This kid's way too humble about how nice he is. He went to Berkeley. He's got like awards and shit. I don't know. He's fire.
Hey, yo, Rondell, I ain't even give you a chance to speak, man. Yo.
No, it's all good, man. I'm loving this. I definitely had a couple questions though. As far as engineering and producing, do you guys do that yourselves?
Oh yeah, yes sir. It's in house.
Nice. Do you guys have like your own studio, or you still go out to different studios?
Well, yeah, we still go out to different studios, and also as for like engineering, we do like a lot of mixing and like some basic recording in the house. But then we work with our boys John and Rico at CRC.
And shout out Elton and Adam.
Yeah, and we use we got El mixing, and then Adam is mastering over at Sterling Sound. But yeah, as for just like production and like recording and arrangement and writing and all that shit, yeah, that's us.
Nice. And with so many different artists that you guys have, you have 9 guys. How do you go about collaborating on certain tracks? Like, how do you guys say who goes on what song?
It definitely varies, and we kind of like, we can shift. Like, one thing we're really working on is shifting in and out of like free flowing shit where we just kind of like follow our instincts, have fun, chase ideas that come up in the moment, like versus like balancing that with like more concerted effort to like do something focused and targeted and like practice. You know what I mean? And so like we can get into a space where we're firing in all cylinders, might just throw a beat on the monitors. Somebody starts writing, somebody writes a hook, somebody writes a bridge, somebody's going in on a verse, you know what I mean? Or it could be like, yo, I really think it'd be cool, Hank, if you started this song with just a 4-bar phrase where we pitch your vocals up and like do some cool shit, you know what I mean? So it varies, and we're just trying to get better at like being conscious of which side of that spectrum we're on and like trying to nail those things.
Who are some artists that you guys listen to?
It's all over the place in this group. Personally, I have a playlist that I just shuffle of all my like songs, and it's pretty much like being on a time travel machine that's broken, and just going over every type of music, like ever that I fuck with. But then I know the vocalists have some favorites.
I mean, there's some big ones across the group that are always going to be.
Yeah, I mean, all right, let's just, off top, there's always going to be respect for, I'm not even going to think, I'm going to say Saba, I'm going to say Isaiah, I'm going to Smee, Frank, Tyler, Earl,
fucking
Earth Gang, just that whole Chano, No Name, for sure.
OD.
Like, yeah, Little Sims is sick.
We listen to a lot of hip hop, but like
BK the Ruler.
Shout BK. BK's hard as fuck. And then, yeah, bro, we also like all listen to like, like we love like, just a lot of us listen to jazz, some of us listen to classical. Some people are like really heavy on rock. I know Aiden's like a big Def Grips fan, also likes like Frank and a lot of people. Like, there's crossover, but we each have our own sector as well. So it's like a big Venn diagram that also has individual parts.
Yeah, it's like...
And I like get put onto a lot of music by people in this group that I like didn't necessarily know about before too.
And it's like a membrane.
You should listen to Mobby too. Shout out to Mobby. Yeah, Dijon.
That's dope. There's a lot of diversity.
Yeah, man. It's a spectrum. It's a wide range.
That's great. Now, my last question is, can you tell the people something about you guys that they may not know about you?
Well, that's interesting because we're a relatively open group. Like we don't have, and
I
may not know.
I think I'd probably say that if you were to spend time with us and we got to kick it, then we'd probably just figure out some way to have a blast, regardless of like the situation you're in. It would probably be like hella fun. But I just like to, I think, be rowdy and dumb too.
I think we have a culture in our group. I guess this might be kind of obvious, but we really try to be inviting people. So like you don't really know that from like meeting us, but you don't really know that from not meeting us, but like in person, like we're just trying to have a good time and meet people and enjoy our day and like.
And you should hit us up. You should hit us up on Instagram, especially if, like, if you make music or like if you're trying to like talk about music, because there's definitely a lot that we can learn from people that reach out to us.
We love to help out people who are like aspiring musicians who want to like send us demos too. Like, hit us up.
Oh, that's what's up. So where can people?
That's great.
Where can people hit you?
Definitely feel free to hit us as like individuals on Instagram. You should be able to find all our pages if you just go to ours, which is just like at 99 Neighbors. And you can also hit our 99 Neighbors account. We try and do a good job of like keeping up with the DMs in there. But definitely hit us individually. Like I'm sure pretty much everyone's good at getting on top of it. I'm not the best about it, but
if we're gonna shout out the ads, mine is at 99 Samba SOMBA, and then yours is. What is it? It's like Julian SR26.
Yeah, it's just my birthday and I ship from high school. I never like really changed every day. That's what. But yeah, bro, definitely hit us up because we really love talking to people and meeting people. That's what I would want to like have people know about us. Is, like we try to be as personable as possible. Like love interacting.
That's what's up, man. We don't want to hold you guys up too much longer.
No worries.
It was a great conversation, man. We enjoyed talking with you guys. And yeah, man. Is there anything you want to leave with? Tell the fans before we get out of here.
Wear your masks. Defund the police.
Fuck Trump.
Yeah,
that's OD.
Yeah.
That's facts. I don't know. I can't think of shit. I don't know. Check yourself, white people. Check yourself. Because I'm one of you, and I need to check myself more.
I feel you. We appreciate you guys for calling in, and we definitely gonna keep following you in your music journey. And wait, before we go, like your single, what singles and stuff you have out? Maybe you can tell the people about it.
Oh yeah, well, last summer after we signed with Warner Records and Nice Work, their JV, we dropped, I think it was 5 or 4 or 6 or some shit singles. It was Fake Pods and Fuck No and Thunder and 19
Ripstick
and Ripstick.
Yeah, we dropped a little single run last summer.
Yeah, it was hard.
Those are up on all DSPs.
Yeah, those are them.
Yeah, we also have an album out called Television that we released last year. You can go check all that shit out.
Yeah, what's your favorite, Gigi?
My favorite song we have out right now will probably be either Fly or Thunder.
And I'm gonna personally say my favorite is probably Welcome to Chili's or Facts. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we will definitely check it out, and the people listening, they're gonna check it out. We appreciate you guys for calling in. You're welcome anytime. We have fun.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, this was great.
Yo, thanks for having us on, you guys. It was really great to talk to y'all.
Yeah, y'all were really good hosts, man.
All right, man. Thanks. Peace out, man.
Take care, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all be safe.
Later. The A&R Vent Podcast.